Welcome back to the LS RX8 series right here on Enigma Garage. Got our adapters in, looking very good to come down and over this way. But man, I tell you, I am exhausted of planning for this build. So what we have here are truck manifolds pulled off of that motor in the corner over there, which have a little sneaky secret. These things are great to just cut off right there at the collectors, weld on some V-bands, stainless steel, and we're going to make our own turbo kit here. So we're just going to take these, throw them out the window. Have a crossover pipe from another build. I'm just going to cut it in a few spots, use a couple of the bends and the flex. Have some 3 for the down pipe and 2.5 for the crossover. But first, instead of trying to go back and forth inside of here, up and down, I'm going to take the alternator mount off, which I hate myself for. That means the belt, all that's going to come off. I'm going to put the alternator mount on this motor stand over here. So we're going to take all this off so I can just fab the clearance up, hugging it to the alternator here. Then I just put it in the car when I'm done. All right, before we jump into that, let's go over some turbo kit items here. So we have the 6AN feed, which is going to a, I think, 3/8 NPT. This comes off the side of the LS block untapped. I'm going to drill a hole and tap that with a new gasket for the oil feed. Of course, truck manifolds here, new gaskets. To weld, I'm going to use the ER309L. That should be for stainless to mild, which they should be cast steel, not cast iron, so we should have no problems welding there. We'll preheat and show you how to. We have the 7875 Turbo with the V-band mount already on it. RS6AN in with a restrictor in it already. Have the 1/2-inch drain. We have the 2.5-inch V-bands, stainless, 2.5-inch crossover. And we have already prepped the welding table. I don't know if I'm gonna get started on it tonight or tomorrow, so yes, there is oil on it to keep this from rusting. I'll just wipe it down when I'm getting ready to weld with the Prime Weld 225. First step, we need to take everything off of here, wheel the motor over here so it's easier to go back and forth with. Then we'll take everything off. If I can't find another alternator bracket upstairs, because I do have spare alternators, and we'll jig it up. I know I need to be hugging the alternator within 1/2 inch. Let's get to it. All right, so we have the front of the motor this way. This is the driver's side head. On the passenger side, I'm gonna cut it roughly a little bit more than 45. Maybe that's a 60, not sure. But that way it'll meet up there and the pipe will go straight underneath like that, which probably look better like this. That line needs to come down. I think my first line was going to be better. That way I don't cook anything coolant-wise. Yeah, that's probably going to work out. That, or I can point it downward a little bit. You know what? 45 at a little bit of a down. That might work out. Do that. Put the V-band right here-ish, right on the corner of the block. And the other side, I'm going to definitely have to cut it back before I even put the alternator on. It's not going to fit. It's going to be hitting right here. So I'll get the clearance for the side of the alternator coming out this way and then wrapping down and around. So I need to chop this and switch everything over to this. I really have to start wearing gloves on work nights. All right, so one little problem here. The bolt holes right here for my LS, right there, are not on this block. So we're only gonna have one bolt that I'll just tighten up, but we have another problem. If this thing won't come apart, but I cannot turn the alternator. So this is great. I wonder if I can use a pry bar. That might work. AKA big flathead. Let's see if we can get this pried out of here. Not really. Oh, there we go. Okay. Pried out. So take you out of there. Let's take you. Well, I guess this is the only bolt that's going to go through. Is right here. So, yeah, we definitely need to make that cut up there. That way this is going to fit. We'll just tighten it up in place when we go to do our mocking up. And you can see the difference from F-body to truck, how far off that belt is. So we need to get this cut and then get this mocked up. And a side note while we're here, so I guess this is the GTO throttle body. It's 3.5 inches. So I need to put the original F-body one back on. That is just 3 inches. Oh, there we go. That's right orientation. So I can use the 98 to 01 F-body throttle linkage to the gas pedal. So I need to switch that one out while we're here. All right, let's make this disappear in 3, 2, 1. Boom, and it's gone. Now we have our clearance. Probably should have cut a little bit more of an angle to go down, but we shall see. Let's put the alternator up. I've got the alternator bracket on back here. Just missing a bolt, but everything's in place. Plenty of clearance, and I am thinking about going like this right here. That should be plenty, and it keeps it nice and tight to the frame rail. Should have plenty of room for that. And then I'm gonna put the V-band down here near the bottom of the alternator for the Y-pipe over. So you need to prep that one and cut this side next. All right, so I finally got some pieces in. Well, it was missing these pieces when I ordered off eBay. Don't buy these from eBay. Just don't do it. I mean, first off, the flange is warped. Build quality is absolutely terrible. It's not even a smooth transition. All nicked up. And then the flanges they sent do not even line up. Look at that. Look at that big difference in there. Like, come on. So I'm gonna return that. I'm gonna take this other one that I have, which is T4 anyways. I'm gonna cut off the flange and I'm gonna put a 90 on this in the car and then go to a split 2.5 to 3 inch adapter onto this one with a non-warped flange. So, yep, that's getting returned, which is kind of setting everything back. But also, I still do not have the AC compressor. It's finally shipped from LS1 RX8, so I'm gonna wait to finish these up, and while I'm waiting on that to show up, we are going to modify this per the instructions with my new tap and get this completely prepped out, ready to go. We're also gonna tap the oil feed for the turbo. I have my 1/8 NPT tap here. So we're gonna prep a whole bunch of stuff while we're waiting on shipping, and I'm gonna return that. And we're gonna show you the quality of Evil Energy. Quick release, love this style. And the flanges. They have a locking tab, so they're always perfectly centered, and they have an inlet groove right here for the pipe, which locks directly on. So it's locked in right there. Great welding area. The other ones, these things, don't even go over it. Doesn't go inside of it, over it, nothing. So yes, once again, do not buy eBay flanges. Get Evil Energy or a good brand that has locking tabs. So much better build quality. All right, let's see if this works now. And I've come to the realization that this is not going to fit with an intercooler there, because I need 3.5 inches from the front of this lip right here. So the way this is angled, right there, it hits about right there. Move it back. So I do have enough room here. If I can get this back another, say, 2 inches or so, and to get this back another 2 inches without having to hood pin everything, I think I'm gonna have to cut out right here, up and over, down around the lock, and then over there, which means I have to drop my wiring harness pins and this whole harness so I don't accidentally cut through that. And I should be able to move this back about 2.5, 3 inches here, and I'll have room for the coolant hose. This will be funny. This might be like an up and over type thing. Hopefully it'll clear. I don't know. Oh, and I took those off so I can cool the engine bay a little bit better, and it looks cooler. So that's where I'm at with that one, because once I do get the manifolds cut, I can't do a crossover until the parts come in from LS1 RX8, which is the steering adapter, the sway bar relocation, and the AC bracket. So once I have all that stuff on there, and then I can mount this at the proper angle further back and get the intercooler, make my bar, then I can make a crossover. So that's kind of wasted energy at this moment. I need to cut this out after I'm done prepping this over here. So I'm gonna review the footage and make sure everything is fine in view, and we'll start prepping this stuff for when parts come in. Let's prep some stuff out. So we're gonna tap these here in just a minute with this tap. And this tap is a M10-H2, if anybody wants to know what we're gonna tap those for. But we have the 1/8 inch NPT, and we have this hole that I'm gonna drill, which is a little bit bigger than, actually that doesn't matter at all. We're gonna go for the oil, which is bigger than the oil, so we should be fine. We're gonna drill this through so we can see the other side real quick. Then we can tap that. But also we have this one here, it's just about the size of the hole, so we can drill this one here to tap that. Let's get to it. So now we have this all drilled out. You can see right there. Now we are going to tap that for 1/8 inch NPT for the fitting for the oil feed. Then we can just bolt that straight back up to the side of the block, which goes, hopefully we can see this down here. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but right there on the side of the oil filter area. So we'll tap these, this one with that one, 1/8 inch here, 1/8 inch here, and we can get bolts and fittings ready. as you can see, that was a struggle bus, but it's finally on there. Nice and tight. I have to clean out the inside of that before I even get it close to putting that back on. Had to make my own little adapter here. Ground down the ends of that so it fit on the socket like the other one did. This one's just a little bit too big, and the where did it go? Here we go. So this is getting worn out. It's not one to hold tight, not giving me much leverage. It's bent, so probably gonna toss that. But made it work. Got the threads over here for the AC compressor ready to go. So I'm just waiting on the bracket so I can put that on the side of the motor. Clean that out, put that back on there, and that'll give me my boost controller set up for that, which I need to get my wastegate back from my friend so I can get that ready to plumb up. And I actually had to go up 2 sizes here on the drill bit. So I went from a Harbor Freight set S to a Q, or no, the other way around, Q to a like an S or a T or something. So I had to get a little bit bigger. Wasn't getting enough threads to bite down on that one. This one is done. I have to clean out the inside of that, but it is ready to go. Got to wait for my single 1/8 inch NPT to one single 6AN, and then I can clean that up, put that on the side of the block, and we're making progress. So I'm waiting on a few parts, but might do a few things like cut this one down, kind of remeasured it. I'm gonna go here to this line, so it gives me plenty of clearance underneath here, and I don't boil coolant, or if it needs to come around this way. So I'm gonna cut off that line. I might do that. I might cut this off and do some prepping, but I might call this a video because this is getting kind of long. You know what I'm going to do on the next video for the core support. We're going to cut that out and make sure the loom is back so we don't cut that in half. Start fitting some other things. Breakfast of champions, people. Turbo's cleaned up. I got all the paint off the inside and polished it up. I don't know why somebody does that. But over here, manifolds are off of this with the alternator. They are on the car. Did a little bit of tidying up too. I've got the 1/2 inch back there to the manifold. Got this. I've got the one-way valve right here. Fuel lines are set back. The brake line's pushed back behind there again. So that's up out of the way, clipped onto the firewall behind everything. Got the vacuum line right here. That's all ready to go, so I can tee it into the back of the manifold, and we can tee it into the Mega Squirt right here. Give us our boost reference, or vacuum reference. Yeah, so let's get to the clearances. Here is our truck manifold on the passenger side. Plenty of room. This right here might have to get ground down because it hits the box right here on this. So that corner might need to get cut off. And here's a bottom view. Should be plenty of room for that AC compressor. Bracket's definitely going to be in the way of the downpipe. I have to move this over. That'll be fun. This side over here on the driver's side. Plenty of room to come down and under, depending on where the sway bar will be. But loom is back. Everything is cleared out back here. We're going to end the video here because this is getting probably a little bit too long. Next video, we're going to do some cutting. See ya.
Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost.